Oh, sure. There you go. Much better.
Okay. Hey, friends. Welcome to a Reseller's Passion YouTube channel. I'm here with two of my favorite people within the reselling community. I don't know if they know how much I appreciate them, their content, everything they're teaching. No, seriously. I don't say that about a lot of people. Sometimes I do. So, ladies, welcome. How about if you do a brief introduction? People are going to start joining in a few minutes. It's us. We're going to have a great conversation.
Sure, yeah.
Introduce yourself to the community.
Okay, yeah. Well, thanks for having us here, Leslie. But honestly, we're just most excited to hang out with you tonight for an hour. We're so lucky that we get to do this. We really enjoy your company and everything. Every time we tune in to see what you're up to, we have a really great time. So again, thank you so much. So my name is Marina.
My name is Michelle.
And we started selling, buying things to sell online a little over 2 years ago. So it was actually like the end of 2018. We're really just dabbling in it, but we liked it so much that we decided, we always make plans for the new year. So we decided, okay, hey, let's try it as a business, like 2019, and see how it goes. So after that year finished, we said, this is awesome. Let's keep going. Cause I think our profits were like in the about mid 20s. So for like somebody who didn't even think you could learn any money off of doing this, it was like a lot for us. So we were really excited, like, hey, where can this go? So year two, this is like, we just wrapped up year two, and we can't even believe it, but we hit 30,000 in revenue on Etsy, just Etsy, which is just one of the 4 platforms that we're selling on. So it's looking pretty darn good for a second year business. And we're really excited about it. So that's a brief introduction. I'll let Michelle talk though.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting this journey, this business. This became a business, basically, this hobby. So it's been really fun. We're learning a lot, and we're trying to grow as well. As well as, at the same time, we want to be like you and contribute to the community and connect with people. I think that's really a key part of this, why we enjoy this so much.
Yeah, the connection is huge. Who doesn't want connection? Who doesn't want love and connection? So we feel really loved and connected with you and with a few others in the community. And I think everyone that we've talked to in the community, when I say community, we mean like the reselling community. Right. So there's a group, there's a movement, right? There's a group of individuals all over the world, actually, who are doing this. They're trying to upcycle, use clothing. It's helpful for the environment. It's helpful for the planet. But it also can make for a nice little business, a way to earn money for retirement, paying the bills.
Yeah.
Any unexpected expenses. So, and it's so easy. Like I've seen 15-year-olds killing it in this game. So it's like anyone can do it. It's amazing.
Listen, I totally agree. From my 51-year-old self, I'm so amazed. And again, back to just the diversity of the community, whether it be age, male, female, it doesn't matter. There is room for everyone. And you were speaking about resellers like all over the world. If we Poshmark hasn't gotten there yet, they're in Canada, but think about Amazon and eBay and just the businesses that people everywhere can develop. I think that reselling is a platform that just about anyone can do, and just in such a simple way, especially in 2020, right? People are losing their jobs, things are happening. What else can you do but sell your stuff? Go through your house and make it a garage sale. You have no excuses. Start from there. And if you make a little bit of money, then you can kind of venture out and figure out what you want to do. But before we get deep into the reselling, because, we come on these shows, I like to know about people. I like to know what's going on. I just had Sarah on and we just went through 2020, right? What has this 2020 meant to you two, individually, collectively, and how have you been handling everything with social distancing and stuff?
That's a really, really good question. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So 2020 just flew by. But the first thing I thought of is I could never imagine that I could stay home for that long period of time ever. So it really shows that sometimes you don't really need a lot of external things to survive or to live or to enjoy life. The 2020 meant, it's been a rough year. But I think at the same time, Marina and I, since we're together all the time, it's been good in terms of connecting and learning to kind of, how to really live together because, we're together all the time now. And also we managed to, expanded our business through this pandemic. So it's been rough because we definitely want to help people. And I think that's one reason we started the daily live is really to tell people, hey, you can do this. You can make money at home without going out. What do you think?
Yeah, those are really good points. That you touched on. That's like your experience, right? So we all are probably having a different experience during this pandemic. For us, like we have, day jobs. So Michelle she's been in marketing and branding and advertising for over 15 years. So right out of college, that's what she's been doing. And then I've been teaching online. And it's been difficult, like extremely grateful to have jobs because, that's so many do not right now. So we're extremely lucky, but it's been hard. We've had to that's our number one because it sustains us. It allows us to resell. It allows us to do research and put information out there for other people who maybe don't have time to do that. Maybe busy parents or just anyone could pick up the podcast, right? So it's basically, we do like Instagram lives or YouTube lives. And our goal is not to grow an audience. It's not to get a lot of views or likes. Our goal is to genuinely share some information that can help someone earn money and doing what we're doing. That's our goal. So, and we've had really good feedback for our podcast. So there are people listening to it. We don't have like a 1,000 people. We have a very small audience, but we're helping people, and we're just super excited about being able to do that. And our day jobs allow us to do that. So even though it was really difficult, we work much harder and longer hours for the same pay, but that's fine. We work from home. We're very fortunate. Our dogs love that we're home all the time, so that's really nice. With Michelle and I working from home, when we first started, it was hard because we got into a lot of fights, to be honest. But we've navigated through that, and we're fine now. Everything we know, what to do. We have a schedule.
We give each other space.
Yeah. So, yeah, like Michelle said, you know what? We're really resilient as humans. It's not hard to stay home. Every now and then we need to get out. We do. Mm-hmm. We're at the beach Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We drove to the beach. It was 40 minutes away. If you guys are ever in California, check out Laguna Beach. It's one of our favorite beaches. It's gorgeous in Orange County. Nice. We went there in the morning. We walked on the beach with the dogs. We grabbed breakfast. We were back home by noon. And that gave us, plenty of time to do whatever the rest of the day. So if we need to get out, we get out, and we're just very, very happy and fortunate that the business is doing great. Our health is doing great, and all good things. How about you, Leslie?
Yeah, you touched on some really great things, and thank you for asking. We have some feedback. I don't know why, but I have really appreciated 2020. Everyone has, like you were saying, a different point of view, and it again has allowed me also to see what's really important in life. I've always been that way because, I had the 5 children. So there were times when we didn't have a lot of money. So they have always been priority, my family. and us as a unit, not the things that I could give them, not the places that we can go. We had to figure things out, but they always had everything that they needed. And I still live by that philosophy. And this year has really solidified, my stance on that. Because we're a family, we don't do Christmas, we don't do all that. People don't understand all that, but that's like societal stuff. That's not something that has to be done. All my children are adults now, and they have jobs, they're healthy. My youngest is a college freshman, and that's my achievement. And so 2020, yes, there wasn't a prom, there wasn't a graduation, but we're still here. And thankfully, we haven't lost anyone close. I do know people. And I do, of course, in our community, so much loss and grief and sorrow this year. But as I tell the community, we're here. We need to just embrace every day that we have. I'm very thankful. And it's also actually opened up doors and windows for me to grow my business, new possibilities and new thought processes. Like if an idea, and you ladies probably can contribute, but like if something comes your way, why not try it? New avenues to grow your business. And because you probably are totally sourcing differently than you were in the beginning, because the beginning, your goal was to finish your backyard, right? So now you've made it into a business. What has, before I talk about that, because I have a list of stuff, but let's talk about your dogs though. Like we never talk about your dogs. How many do you have? How old are they? And what's going on there with everyone in the house?
So that's so lovely of you to ask, because are you even a dog person?
I'm not like I don't hate dogs. When I was young, I was bit by a dog, so that kind of emotionally that threw me off for a long time. But my mother has beautiful dogs. She has like a poodle, and I forget what he's mixed with. He's Pee-wee, and then she has Jackson, who is this big giant pit bull. But I've known Jackson since he was a puppy, so that helped a lot when he came like right 6 weeks after. I don't know how long they have to stay with their mom. So he was a brand new puppy, and she raised him up, and so that was good. You knock at the door, you come in the door, he is like on you. So wow. If he didn't grow up with me, I would be freaked out because he's huge now. He's like, the kids can ride him, So, but, for the most part, I do I want to be able, when I move to North Carolina, to have space so that we can have like a little dog, not a big dog.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, there are babies. I was thinking if they weren't around, especially during this pandemic, our dynamic would be so different. They just give us so much love and joy every single day. And we're just happy that we're able to do the same for them.
Yeah, and so a little background on the dogs. So we have two, Kiki and Chloe. Kiki's a Jack Russell, Chloe's a Cavalier King Charles poodle mix, so Cavapoo they call them. But basically they used to belong to my siblings. So my brother begged our mom when he was 18 for a dog for a long time. And my brother was very persistent. So he should be like a salesperson, but he's not. He's actually in the medical field. But she got him the dog, and then just a few weeks later, he was disinterested. The dog, I felt bad for the dog because she was always crying. She wasn't happy. One day she came into my room, and I was reading what can I do to help this poor dog. And I read somewhere that if you give the dog positive reinforcement, it will behave better. So she came into my room. I told her to sit, and after she sat, so she was very, Jack Russell was trainable very quickly. I told her, "Oh, you're such a good girl." After that, I couldn't get her out of my room. So it was like love at first sit. And the funny thing is about this dog is we actually share the same birthday. So she's my little dog soulmate, my firstborn dog. I don't know how to explain it. So, the other one, Chloe. So she actually came from a dog store. So this is where we didn't know, and we're a family that didn't know about animals. So this one was my sister's first dog. She was going through a breakup. Later, she got married, so they got back together, and it's her husband now. But I bought her a dog because I felt bad for her. So, and but the dog was always in a cage, and I was like, I don't know if that's So I took this dog too, but she came from a pet store. So she has a lot of like issues that she inherited. She has severe arthritis. Kiki will be 12, Chloe's 9.5.
Yeah.
And she's had it for like 4 years. She cannot walk. Like she has a hard time just standing to use the restroom, but she is the happiest girl, sweetest soul you've ever met. Like there's not a bad bone in her body.
Yeah, so definitely, friends, head over to the FlippinGals Instagram. They do have pictures and things. Like I have been enjoying these ladies for a long time. So that's, their dogs are a part of their family. So why not ask? When I have other guests on, I want them to talk about their families. And so these are their their friendly pets.
Our fur babies.
Yeah, fur babies. So it's no different, that definitely goes to stand. Love is love. That's their babies. So why not ask them questions? Let me see who's here today. So many great friends. Hi, Duncan. You did chicken burger really bad.
Thank you, Duncan. Appreciate that.
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Victoria. Hello. Sarah Styles.
Hi, Victoria.
Hey, Sarah.
Sarah is she went on a trip today. Did you have fun? Grateful Queen is Quimby. If you guys don't know Quimby, hi friends, Torvald and I are baking and listening. Hi Torvald, what are you baking today? The other day it was cookies. Hello, there's Christy Blocker. Hey Christy from Philly, evolving always. Terry.
Hi Terry.
Hi Tatia.
Hi Tatia.
Wendy, hello. All my friends are here. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. What are you saying? Oh, I learned about Laguna Beach.
Oh, yeah. Same, Nikki. Yes.
Yes, we definitely, Nikki said we definitely need to give each other space. So for me, it's like a little bit simple. Like Thomas and I are older. So I call us like mature relationship. Like we've been through relationship. Everybody's had relationships. So we've gotten to this place where we understand each other. I always say that Thomas is like really the first person who sees me and understands me. He jokes around. He doesn't like it when I say he's older than me. He's 12 years older than me. So he's kind of like all his children are gone. He's like settled. We're relaxed. He has his space. I have my space. And so that just makes it so much easier. I think in a relationship, especially a mature relationship, you give each other space and then you come together. You come together in your relationship, you come together in your business. It's all a partnership and you have to figure it out. And I love times like these. My mother said something like early in the year when we were first going into shutdown. And she was like, it's going to be a lot of babies or probably a lot of divorces and separations. And that's actually true because people don't realize that a lot of their relationship is based on their significant other going somewhere, going outside of the house, right? Like if you have a husband, he's been on the road as a trucker and he's home because of whatever, you can't deal with that. So now you have to reevaluate your relationship.
That's so true.
It's an interesting thing, but I love that you were so transparent and you talked about how you were disagreeing and everything, because this is the stuff that people need to hear. They need to know that we're real people and we have challenges, and what did we do as we were going through these challenges. 2020 has been challenging for everyone. I don't care if you are experiencing success or whatever, someone who's experiencing challenges. And I'm so glad that we are here. It's almost over. Vandy's called. So glad I actually liked my husband. Melissa, you're funny. I Let Dreams. That is Charlene. Charlene, I love your new picture. Great haircut. Okay, so what have you been doing? Have you been social distancing? One thing I will say, I love watching you ladies cook. I hope you can do more of that sometime. That is really great. That is actually like a connection that the community likes. So you can do your Q&As and things like that, but I love to see your food and stories, it really, people love that, So what have you been cooking more aside from business? Have you been cooking more? Have you been reading? Do you have time that you're just like figuring out who you are as individuals and a couple aside from work and aside from your businesses? Yeah. You didn't know I was going to get this deep, did you?
Good.
No, but
It
it's
makes us
nice.
think. I'm slower. My thought process is slower. You go first.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for saying that, Leslie. I appreciate it. I enjoy cooking. I'll let Michelle speak for herself, but I'm the eldest of three, and my father passed away when I was 13. So my mother was 32 years old. She was a widow. She had the three children. I learned how to cook when I was 12, right? So out of necessity, because I didn't have, my mom was like working, or actually at that time, both my parents were working, and I was hungry and I didn't want to eat like, frozen pizza bites or whatever. Like I wanted to, because that's what I grew up eating a lot of frozen food. Like pizza bites, I remember was one thing, Hot Pockets and cereal. Like that's how I grew up. But I wanted to eat like something different. And the first thing that I made, and I remember my mom telling me over the phone like how to make it, was fajitas. So my mom had bought all the ingredients and she was like, it's easy, just slice the chicken, slice the peppers. So I learned how to cook over the phone, basically, through my mom's instructions, but it was hard. I didn't understand the fajita, like the pita bread that you're supposed to like, open and put it inside. I didn't get it, so that was confusing. But now, okay, so then I got to tell you this about me. When I became a teenager, after my father passed away, and I think it was connected, I had a lot of like psychological issues. And so I had an eating disorder. So I actually became anorexic. And I had a disorder for a while and a bad relationship with food. So basically I didn't eat. I just like stopped eating at some point. So fast forward a few years, I developed a love for the language of the French language. So my mother allowed me to go to France and study French there in the university. So I developed a love and a fondness for food there in France, right? Of all places, right? So it came back and became a total foodie. And Michelle and I, we can also connect on that. That's one of the reasons Michelle and I connect at all, because she comes from a different world. She's from Hong Kong originally. She moved to the U.S. in college. I was born in Mexico, but raised here in Southern California, and we connect on traveling and food. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Other than that, we're like two totally different people.
We are,
to be honest.
But sometimes they always say opposite attracts in a way, because it's like, two pieces of puzzle that kind of fit perfectly. It's like there are certain things that I'm not good at. She's very good at those things, and then vice versa. So, compatible with food and traveling, but also in another way, we kind of fit. We're compatible that way.
Yeah, we complement each other in many ways.
Yeah.
But one thing to answer the question about what have we been cooking lately, I've been making pumpkin pie, like if it was going out of style. I found a new recipe. So this recipe it's almost vegan. It's so simple to make, and it tastes just as good, if not better, than the original egg version. So basically, it's just that silk. I take an organic silk box of tofu.
Right.
Not silk. Okay, don't eat your don't eat fabric. So a silk tofu,
right,
and 1 can of organic pumpkin. So we do like organic as much as we can.
Right.
And then I add cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And I put as much as I can in there.
Right.
Like to where I'm not gonna add whatever I can handle.
Right.
Oh, and yeah. So all of those things we try to be as healthy as we can when we eat, when we cook at home. And so it's eggless, and I just buy the crust already made. Right.
So you buy the crust already made,
Pop it in the oven for 30 minutes.
Nice.
Done every time.
Yeah, that sounds good. I am like just speaking of like childhoods and everything. My mother, when I was growing up, that she was a vegan. I mean, she ate vegan. She was a vegan. So that's how we ate. It was vegan, vegetarian. And then there were times that she was like, okay, she grew up in a household where there was a pork and unhealthy eating. So she developed different habits. And so that's how we grew up. So there was no like, okay, we already knew what tofu and all that was, my siblings and I. And we just were like, can we just have some Frosted Flakes like once? You know, we weren't allowed to eat sugar cereals or anything like that. And then we would go to my grandmother's house and she would just throw it all at us. You know, oh, you can, you know, Frosted Flakes, everything we want. And just, we couldn't eat pork. My mother was like, yeah, that's where I draw the line. Very little beef. And I still kind of eat like that now. Not as much vegan, but I prefer to gravitate toward the chicken, or like we just had turkey, ground turkey tacos, you know. So I'd rather do that. And we don't drink any dairy milk. We only drink soy or almond in our house. My children grew up with that stuff. And speaking of, you know, growing up cooking, my children have all been cooking since they were 8. It was a necessity. So now I don't have to cook. Like, we're preparing them anyway. And believe me, I had like a horrible childhood. I did not enjoy my childhood at all. So we all have those stories that we can share, and those things push us. So some of the things that I didn't like that helped me develop and mature, I actually purposely did that for my children, because that did kind of build up my character. They all know how to cook. They wash their clothes. There is like, only clothes I wash are mine. And a lot of times there are people still taking care of their adults. My daughter's 18. She's at a job now. She's a certified CNA who works a full-time job, 3 to 11 every day. So sometimes these things, they build us up and they make us stronger. But I want to go to France too. So
yeah, let's go. We can source there, like vintage.
Oh, stop. Eat all, source all day and then eat. That would be seriously, that would be so fantastic. Because that's my goal. Now that Thomas and I are like, you know, turning into empty nesters, this year has been kind of a drag because we had a lot planned.
Yeah.
But that's this year. Now we'll see what happens in the future, because we want to travel. We want to just be able to go wherever we want to go. I have so many places I want to go. The first place I want to go is Ireland, South Africa, so many places we want to hit. So we refer to that. But Michelle, so let me ask you this question. So Hong Kong, so you do eat meat. Like you grew up, you were eating like meat, and you're still, I can see the way the two of you cook. Do you eat a lot of vegan food, or you're still eating your meat and different things? What is your?
I mean, after meeting Marina, I've eaten a lot less meat. I still eat pretty bad sometimes, so I'm fine. Because I now recently I've realized, like, hey, I'm not in my health. I need some work on that. Mental and physical. Yeah. But yes, I eat everything. Grew up, my mom cooked a lot of food. Like, it was almost like no frozen stuff. It was all home cooked meals growing up. And that's why I'm kind of like a foodie. So it's like, that's how we connect. Yeah, we eat everything. I actually lived in Hong Kong. I grew up there. I was born there. I lived in the Philippines as well. For 5 years, and then I moved to the U.S.
Yeah, I loved it because before, of course, the pandemic. Again, see, because I'm a true friend. I love your posts and things like that, and like, where are they eating next? You know, it was like, you know, you were like going to restaurants and things like that, and I'm like, where are they going now? Between the estate sales and eating, I'm like, okay, I'm down. So now it's like, oh man, you know.
It's almost like a reward. Every time we go sourcing, we're like, ooh, where are we going to eat? That's a reward.
Yeah, we're still eating out, but it doesn't look as pretty. We're going to pick up our Christmas food tomorrow.
Nice.
And we'll probably eat half of it tomorrow and the other half on Christmas Eve.
It's a vegan beef Wellington.
Really? So what is the meat substitute?
I'm not sure. I have to.
It's not seitan, is it? So what is it, do you think?
I think it was like mushroom or something like that. No idea.
Okay.
We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll go.
Yeah. Well, Marina got me. I started eating Impossible meat because I saw Marina eating that, and it is literally delicious. Like, you know, as you get older too, like Michelle was saying, taking care of our body mentally and physically, and being home, I put on like 20 pounds. I went to my doctor and she was looking at me. I was like, you don't even have to say it. I know it. I can feel it in every part of my body. So for me, my journey is to really start eating better, but I still want to enjoy things that I've liked. And that meat, man, you're talking. I like, just for myself, my kids, they can eat what they want to eat. Like, so get beef. And if I'm making burgers, I throw that on the grill and then I save some for myself. And then I'll use that for like my tacos or my pasta or whatever it is. And I even had made it seasoned it and everything, so everyone in my house can try it. At least try it in that way if you want to eat it. Like, I've never, for my children, I've never pushed anything or forced them to eat anything, but it's such a healthy plant-based substitute that because I was watching it one day and I was asking her, like, okay, why does it that, what's in it that's making it that color, you know? Delicious.
Yeah. Have you tried the it's like an Italian sausage from Impossible?
Yeah.
No, I'm writing that down now.
We've done that for breakfast a couple of times. It's pretty good.
No. Well, I'm writing that down on my paper because that's what the community is for. You know, like you were just talking about that pumpkin pie. I am, if you know, like I'm a professional baker, but when I had my own dessert business, I was actually like a vegan baker. I baked gluten-free and all those things because there was so many like little kids at my children's like preschool that had allergies, and I just kind of felt bad. I said, well, let me try to start a business, and I could do like it was all plant-based. It was all like vegan, like, and the Whole Foods and Trader Joe's are the places you can go and find like anything. You can find a vegan Oreo cookie, and it's like amazing. It does, and then I had a family of 4. They were a vegan family, but everybody was allergic to soy. So I had to come up with, recipes, and that was so much fun creating that. So I'm doing some, I have in 2021, I'm coming up with some ideas of things of community. Yeah. When they hear that, they're like, okay, so when is your book coming out? I'm like, I'm trying to make money over here first.
Yeah.
I'll take about a year and like just do a little bit every single day. So, one thing I want to ask you, FlippinGals, how do you come up with that name?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, the reason I ask you that is because really if someone heard FlippinGals, and you've probably thought about this, I'm not sure, and then they see you, they're like, yeah, you're not 80-year-old ladies.
Oh, because the word gals.
So
That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know where that gal name. I mean, I think when we were going through it, so flippin' has like a double meaning. I don't know if you thought about that one, Leslie, when you were trying to dissect the meaning of the name or how we came up with it. But flippin' means like flip things, buy and sell things. But it also is like a bad word, but the bad word means, it can mean awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like it means yeah. So that's kind of where that came from. And gals, I mean, I know it's like we're not girls.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the intention is like there are a lot of men resellers.
Right.
I just want to emphasize that we are women.
Yeah.
We didn't really think that far with the name, with the word gals.
But because we're not guys, so we're not gonna,
I love it.
Yeah. And then we also want to, be as broad as we can, because you can apply to anything. You can flip houses, you can flip anything. So we thought that was, actually, she came up with that.
No, I just thought especially today, as I was like typing everything in, I'm like, yeah, they're gals. Okay. I know who they are, but somebody comes on and go, wow, look at them. They're young.
Thank you.
Well, I love your haircuts. Is your sister still cutting your hair? Marina, your sister cuts your hair, right? Yeah.
So she actually came to our home yesterday because they're closed again. Her job's been crazy this year. It's been like shutting down on and off throughout the year. And she opened her own salon because she was actually her salon closed at the beginning of the pandemic where she was working, and she used to manage a salon, and so she decided to go on her own, and we helped her. We helped her with the branding, we helped her with her concept, and we've been helping her with business operations, since the very beginning. But anyway, when she is closed, she'll do house calls. So she drove an hour to our house. Though. She cut our hair yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a great sister. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I can definitely tell. Awesome. Let me see if anyone's saying anything over here.
We'll be happy about that.
Whoa. interesting to hear about people's eating histories. I'm a reformed health food nut. I eat too much junk food now, but sort of planning to sort of reform. Charlotte, you're funny. I think we all have that going in. I don't make resolutions, but I do make plans and write goals. Because, you know, resolutions, we've resolved what are we resolving to do? And then 3 weeks into the year, it's a no-go. So I think if we just slowly implement some different changes and then just follow through. It's the follow through that's more important than anything else, right?
Yeah, it's all about the long-term plan.
Yes, it is definitely about the long term. I mean, we can try something and if it doesn't work, but definitely just push yourself. And I think just being healthy, it's not even about weight. It's just about being healthy. You know, life is not a guarantee and we have to take care of this vessel that we have. It's really important. So let's get into reselling. What things are you selling and what platforms are you selling on?
We sell everything pretty much, but we definitely have a love for vintage items. I myself love mid-century modern stuff. So, you know, I think that's how we kind of got into vintage item is when we went to estate sales. I just wanted to buy them because, but we didn't realize, oh, these items have a good resale value. It's got really cool historical history, background about it. So we sell a lot of, you know, vintage electronics, and we've sold vintage newspapers. And then in addition to that, we do sell clothes and shoes and what else do we sell? Nothing.
Yeah, we sell a bit of everything, but we are definitely changing like where we're headed next year. So we kind of do we're not as fast to change it up. I think as we've seen, like for example, you're very, very quick. We take our time a bit more. So next year we want to focus on print on demand because we open a store in August and it's doing much better than we expected. So I don't know if we mentioned to you, but we were actually interviewed on Business Insider. So you guys can, for the store we opened, you guys can Google our names on there and see if you can find it.
Nice.
But, so that was really cool. And sales have just been coming in. So we want to do more on that end. We're also consulting. So, you know, for small businesses, right? So if there's any small businesses that need branding help, we actually offer services with that. So we've been working on that. And what else do we want to do? So I think vintage we're going to continue to do because it's like our love. We feel connected to the items. We like learning about the past, like, you know, which family did they come from, and we want to grab this item that's valuable with care and deliver it to the next person. And we like being hands-on and involved with that.
Yeah, and the thing that really brings us most joy is when the customer found the item they've been looking for so long, because these have like it's their sentimental value sometimes, you know, and they would just send us a note like, oh my God, I've been looking for this for so long. Thank you so much. So those are the type of feedback that make us do what we do.
Yeah, I love, I'm falling in love with vintage myself. And when I move, I want to see if Thomas wants to get involved in it because he's been a reseller for a long time, but he doesn't have experience with vintage. Like he'll be out somewhere and I say, honey, look for some vintage stuff because he has a lot of connections. He talks to everyone at the flea market and at the bins and everything. And I'm like, just look, he's like, sweetie, I don't know what to look for. I'm like, well, you're 63, something in here. Like let's not talk 57, you know, 1957. So that kind of stuff. He's like, oh, okay. So, but I'm really falling in love with vintage, and I do a lot of videos, and I say to people exactly what you just said, Michelle, that oftentimes when people are looking for things, they're looking for something specific. They're searching around for that thing. And yes, we want to make sure it's in good condition and everything, but we don't really want to change anything about it because it's a vintage item. I see so many people, you know, wanting to paint it and do all that. No, don't do it. Don't do it. That's the purpose of them looking for that item. Just like you said, a doll that they probably had when they were younger, or a jewelry box or something that their grandmother had or something. Like I'm doing a lot of boxes. Not boxes, handbags, you know, vintage handbags. And as I'm talking about them in my videos, I get so nostalgic because they remind me of my grandmothers. I remember them going to church or whatever, or walking, or we going out to eat, and they have these bags. So it really is sentimental. It brings back memories. So anyone who's selling vintage, don't just say, "Oh, I'm going to go and repair it." You know.
Yeah. I just have an example while you're talking. I went to this estate sale and I saw this panoramic class photo, ROTC class. It was from 1964, and it was black and white, this long, like very, very long. And on the back, it had all the dedications from everybody in that photo.
Wow.
And they were selling for $2 because in my head, I'm like, I don't know who would buy this, but I like it. Yeah. So we picked it up and we ended up selling them on Etsy for like $60.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is amazing to me. Like I made 3 sales yesterday and I was like, wow. And the thing is, I love what you said about like researching. That's also what I love about vintage, because you can start getting deep into it. It's like history, even if it's just a jacket or something, because we're not as old as history, so we don't know those things. Like I know clothes from the 80s, things that I was wearing when I was growing up, but anything like when my grandparents and older than that, I don't know that stuff. So I have to research it, and you have to really know the value so that you can price it. And that's what I love about Etsy, that you can price it and no one really blinks an eye. You're not getting people going, well, can I have it for this? It's like you wake up and you have a sale. As a handmade seller, I appreciated that, because your items that you made by hand, they were valued. And the same thing goes into the vintage side. And now for the printing aspect too, it's like people, they know the value of Etsy. So that is my first love, Etsy.
Yes, same.
So, one thing that I want to ask you, so you get these items. What is the biggest item that you sold, and were you successful shipping it the first time? Like, I shouldn't even ask you that. So what was the biggest item you sold? And then the other question should be, what was the first item that you had the most difficulty figuring out how to package and ship?
Oh, okay. Well, the biggest item we have sold is a 20-inch Magnavox. 20 inches,
Oh,
right?
You mean big as in physically big?
Yeah, physically, not money, not value.
Physically big, yes. Or a Guitar Hero, those are big too. But yes, the TV.
I think the TV. The TV is very large and bulky, and we're not sourcing these anymore. But if you can handle it, do it, because they sell and they're really good, profit.
Yeah.
But I think they were like 19 or 20 inches Magnavox TV. Oh, sorry, a VHS DVD combo. And Michelle was able to package that all by herself. I think her back suffered a little though, because it was heavy. But it's funny because like when we first started selling tube TVs, which we sell a little bit of, we didn't know how to package them. So just want to do a quick shout out to Vasquez Vintage, because
listen, Annie, sure, let's shout out. I love them. Yes.
And Melissa at Vasquez Vintage told us exactly how to package the tube TV. So the smaller, the 13-inch ones, right? But I remember the first one, me, Michelle, and I did it together.
It took like 2 hours.
It took us a while, and it's unusual because Michelle usually does everything on her own. I don't do any shipping, but this was scary. It's like, how are you going to ship a TV that has a glass front? It's super delicate. It's an electronic, and it's not going to break. So it was scary, but now Michelle in her slate can do one.
And by TV, it's not the skinny LCD.
Right. That's back in the day. Yes, where it was wide all around. If the screen was wide, the body was wide, everything. Yeah.
And they throw those. I mean, you know how things are not delivered delicately when it comes to shipping all the time.
So far, all the televisions we've shipped, nothing has been damaged except a return because it was traveling too much. Mm-hmm. So we had 2 returns, and then there were a little damage on those. But other than that, we haven't had any issues. So good job, Michelle.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap is my best friend.
Yeah, bubble wrap. Look, that thick bubble wrap. I'm telling you, I like it. Aside from being able to pop it on occasion,
invest in them too, because sometimes I cheap out and be like, oh, I don't want to put another layer, but It's worth it. You don't want to go there.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. So what kind of things are you're sourcing for your vintage? What kind of things are you looking for? Especially now that we're in like social distancing, are you still going to estate sales and things like that, or are you doing a lot of online sourcing?
Yeah, a lot of online, a lot of social distancing pickup, like local pickups. And we're looking for, we look for electronics. What else? Just, something that's really worked for us with vintage. If you don't know what an item is, we will still buy it if it's not expensive. So like if you don't mind losing a little bit on an item that you don't know the value, and we've actually done really well. So, first of all, do your research. Obviously, like we will actually go on auctions online, and we have Google right there, so we can find out the value, and then we bid on it. So we're fast because we work as a team. So that's like one benefit of being a team. We're so fast that we went to this one estate sale. It was on Facebook, and we were just beating we were winning. I think we took them at like 80% of the house came to our home. And
was like, we were winning. She was like, we're going to get this.
Yes. Yeah, people were upset. They're like, are you guys cheating somehow?
Yeah.
Cheat.
Well, and if you guys are like interested in doing a estate sale online, it's so much fun. It's just like you're going through a museum virtually, and you're buying things here and there. It's so much fun.
It's dangerous because it's easy to click. I want, and then the bill comes later, right? So we ended up spending a lot on that one. But the house, there's many homes. Estate sales happen a lot of times when somebody passes away.
Yeah.
Right. And so what happens because maybe the children they're not interested in the items. So they just hire a company to sell the items, and then they must get rid of the items within 1 to 3 days usually. So that's a really good place to find vintage, Leslie, for you and your husband if you guys are interested in getting into it more. And you can literally, we're still not finished listing all the items we bought from this one sale. It was like 2 months ago or something.
Wow. We spent a lot of money. No.
Yeah, we did, and we filled our 2 cars full, and we have like Priuses, so they fit a lot. And yeah, so that's really fun, and it's a great place to get items. We do like electronics, like Michelle said. We also recommend newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
Newspapers.
That's how they met me.
Yeah, that's how we met Leslie.
People are like, the newspaper? How did you meet Leslie? Yeah, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I just happened to see the post where the newspaper, it was the man walked on the moon, and I just commented that was the day that I was born, and a friendship was born from there. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah, 2 years now.
Yeah, it's going on 2 years. It's so amazing to me, but that is how you build community anyway. When I tell people, it's all about engagement. Like if something catches your eye, start a conversation. If I didn't start that conversation, now where would we be? Mm-hmm. And that's what I believe in for community, because we were talking about that earlier. Like I don't do this to, get all the numbers and everything. The numbers have built just because I show up every day. I love it, and it still surprises me every day. It blows my mind, and it humbles me too. So it keeps me in that space of just being the same person that I am. But I've met Marina and Michelle and all the people here, it's just been such an incredible journey that I'm continuing, to travel on. I love it, and I can't wait to see what we're all going to do in 2021, right? Yes. And speaking of community, you're going live, which I like. So my first question is, why did you start going live? And then the second question is, what was the decision? Was it a conscious decision for a specific reason to go from Instagram to YouTube? So why did you start going live, and then why did you switch over to YouTube?
Yeah. Do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer?
answer?
Okay. Yeah. So we started going live right when the pandemic started, and the reason we did that, and we started going live in the morning. So we used to do this like coffee and question at like 8 in the morning or something, and And the reason we did that is because we weren't commuting anymore. So we had some free time, right? So we thought, well, hey, why don't we just go on live and see what happens? So it was kind of like I don't know,
it just started organically, I think, in a way, because we were trying to connect with the community by going live. And then we also, like I mentioned earlier, learned that a lot of people are struggling financially. And, I think that's really the whole intention, is really to show people you can make money, even side money. It's like needed nowadays.
And what ended up happening is people were showing up on Instagram. So like we would go live, and I think you were one of the first people actually that showed up on our live. We talked to you live in person on one of them.
Yeah.
That you came on a live. So it's unfortunate because we didn't record that one. But but anyway, like, people were showing up every day. And so it's like we never thought to stop. So recently we did move to YouTube. And there's a couple reasons why we decided to do that. So one reason is it's easier for us to be on YouTube than Instagram, because we just like how the video looks better. I know that sounds maybe silly, but in Instagram we were like this the whole time, and we just wanted to have a little bit more of like structure, right? So hey, let's try YouTube. We also wanted to grow our YouTube channel. So we thought, like, I wonder, we're going live daily, what will happen if we go on there daily? And it's been fine. We don't have that many people showing up there every day. So we do kind of miss Instagram and going live, because we feel like it's easier for people to get on Instagram. But that's okay, because we're enjoying the format on YouTube. Duncan, who's our official moderator, he's in here right now. Duncan,
Duncan.
He's in Australia. So yeah, like for us, we're just learning still. We're new. We're learning. We're wondering, like, hey, is this going to deliver value if we go on YouTube and then just like put those videos on Instagram? So people are still watching the videos on Instagram. We up them onto Instagram, and there's the views. So people are still watching that. We also upload the lives to our podcast, and people are still listening there. So, we just want to see if we could reach people on YouTube. And guess what, though? YouTube has also gone up in watches too. So we are reaching more people on YouTube
stuff. Yeah.
Not live, but the replays.
Yeah. But that's how it happens, because here we have like 12 people. By tomorrow, when this buffers or whatever, it'll be like 100 people who have viewed it or whatever. So that's what happens. Yeah. And I mean, you did exactly what I did. Like, actually, I started on YouTube, and it was like slow, and I didn't know what I wanted to do here. And it was like so much competition that I wanted to do what that other reseller was doing, So I said, you know what? I already have a community on Instagram. Let me just stay over there. And so 250 episodes later on IGTV, I said, you know what, as soon as the pandemic hit, now they're ready for some education. They're ready to, learn something. Nothing wrong with haul videos. And I say that because I don't want anybody sending me messages, I do a few unboxings myself, but I want to learn something, just like you ladies are teaching SEO for Etsy and things like that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Yes. But I want to teach something, because I know people are hungering for that, because they need to be able to take that and now turn it into a way to make money. So that is how I grew, because when I came back, I took a whole year off, because I only did January to March in 2019. I left at 130 subscribers. And then when I started in May of this year, I had 130 subscribers. Now I'm at 1,000 something. I just became monetized. And that was just me going live and doing what you were doing. Like, oh, it's the pandemic now. How can we connect with each other? And just that is organic growth. So YouTube is a really great platform. So you're going to meet people that you didn't meet on Instagram. And then there's going to be people who find you on the podcast who are not on Instagram and who are not on YouTube. So it's creating one piece of content and dividing it. So what I do on my YouTube, I don't always drop the whole video. I drop a little bit, because I want them to come here. So if my video is 15 minutes long, I give them a minute on IGTV and say, if you want the rest, you have to come over here. And that's how they get over on YouTube.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Because they were like, wait, I want more. And so they'll come over, they'll subscribe, they'll hit to set the reminder. So when you go live. So, but it's I think as long as you're having fun, that is really important. And then just stay like thinking about the community. Everything else will come. Like I tell the ladies in my community, I have a private group. You build it, they will come. Don't worry about your numbers because likes don't mean anything. They don't translate into engagement. They don't translate into money. So it's the engagement and it's the actual people who are coming to buy. So let's talk quickly about Etsy. Once you got on Etsy, you started to, I'm assuming, learn the platform, and now you know a little bit or a lot about Etsy. So tell us about Etsy and what you're teaching. And because you have webinars and stuff like that, we want to get all that out so that people can start following you and taking advantage of everything you have to offer.
Yeah, Etsy actually wasn't in the picture when we started reselling. And we just kind of heard about it. We thought you could only sell like crafty things on Etsy. That's like everyone's perception. And then we realized, oh my God, let's try this, doing vintage items. And our sales were pretty much really low the whole year, the first year, right? Because we weren't very active on it. And as soon as like we kind of, we got a little bit more active, we learned a little bit more about SEO, what kind of keywords to use, sales started to pick up. And by sales, I mean like good sales comparing to eBay and Mercari. And I think the customer base of Etsy is a little different compared to other platforms. People are super nice. Our customers are super nice, and they're actually willing to pay for the value of the item. They don't negotiate, like what you said. And so that's how we got started. And we've been quite successful when we opened a second store, and that's print on demand. And we realized, what? Why don't we give out why don't we help educate people about the platform?
Yep.
And we started the 3 workshops.
Yeah.
The community.
Yeah. Basically, we we thought like, oh, we figured out Etsy. That's like what we thought. But we're definitely still learning on it, and it is a platform we spend the most time on. So I'm going on there trying to learn as much as I can to, the cool thing about Etsy is that they give you a lot of data. A lot.
I love the analytics. Yes. Yes.
Right. So we should be using that data to increase our sales.
Yes.
So, and so that's what we're still in the process of doing. That said, we did develop a 3 webinar series, right? So the first one is like for a beginner who doesn't have a store on there and they don't know what to sell. So it actually guides you through. And by the way, Leslie, are you going to be making an Etsy webinar yourself? Because I know you do a lot of educational things. Yeah. No, just curious.
I don't know yet.
Well, no worries. Yeah, because if you are or you aren't, we actually have an affiliate program. So we don't it's not open to everyone. But if you're interested, let us know, and we can be partners. So basically, the courses we have. So there are 3 of them. Mm-hmm. The first course, as I mentioned, is for any beginner or somebody who doesn't have an idea what they're going to sell. We take you through that. We give you like about 10 examples or so. We do an exercise that will help you brainstorm. And we also show you some example websites of the variety, because the variety on Etsy is crazy how much there is on there. I don't think people know, the potential of Etsy. Yeah. So it kind of goes into that discovery phase. And then it ends with like do's and don'ts.
Nice.
The second one, we go into
SEO.
Yes, and don't we go into branding a little bit? Marketing and branding, basically. Yeah, and we touch on SEO. We touch on the Etsy ads. You should be using ads, both Etsy ads and website ads.
Yep. Ads. Yes, indeed.
Okay, good. And if you see they're working, you should be increasing how much you're spending on those ads because they're working for you. Yeah. You'll get more sales if you do increase that. So we talk about that. We go into
managing your shop.
Yeah,
which is
that's a third one.
Yes,
the third one is managing your shop.
Yep.
So it will take you through the dashboard and the analytics. Like, hey, what do these things mean? How can you use these to grow your store? Also, we talk about third-party tools. So Etsy integrates they partner with some apps, and you do touch on some third-party tool integrations that can help you with your store. So it is like a business. Not like a business. It's a business, right?
It is a business.
So you need to take care of your accounting. You need to take care of your SEO. You need to take care of your branding and marketing. And I mean, yeah. So this whole Etsy awesome thing, we just want to grow it more and more next year.
I love it. When I was, because I sold on Etsy for 8 years as a handmade seller. So as I was handmade, I belonged to a lot of different groups, and we were like, how dare they bring in vintage? What? We're working hard and they're bringing this thing called vintage? What? And so now I have this where I'm like, okay, so now we're doing this print on demand stuff. What's that all about? But I'm jumping on every bandwagon. So I have 3 stores. Like my tie-dye store is blowing up. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, eventually, do I just want to stick with Etsy and let everything else go? The next couple of months will determine that, especially when I move. I can decide what I want to do. But so did anybody have any questions? Because I'm about to ask my last question for the ladies. Where do you see you going in 2021, whether personally or in business, ladies? FlippinGals. No, I'm throwing it at you, aren't I?
I think personally, I think we definitely want to give us more time to self-care and focus on our health, focus on like the important things. I think this year, because we work from home, it was quite difficult to set boundaries between our normal job, our FlippinGals, and then our normal like life at home. So we spent quite a bit of time working this year, actually. So next year, we definitely personally want to focus more on our health, eating better, exercising, meditating, spending time with family and friends and dogs. And so that's that. Business side, you can go.
Yeah. So basically what Michelle said, we are organizing. That's like our theme of 2021. So we thought 2020, I'm going to tell you our goals, and we didn't reach them. Okay. So when we first started the year, we said, okay, Marina, you're going to focus on Amazon, and Michelle, you're going to kill it on eBay. We both didn't do that. It just didn't happen. Too much on our plate, it just didn't happen. So 2021, our goal is organization. We need to because we're growing. Like, we actually need to turn our hobby into a real business. Like, we don't have experience in business outside of this. Like, not really. So I'm in conversation. I'm interviewing CPAs right now. We have so much on our plate that we need to start hiring people to help us manage this business if we want to continue and grow it. So that's what we're going to be focusing on, and freeing up our time more. So like does that mean less maybe selling of certain clothing? Like, when we source like 5 or 10 clothing items, it's Michelle doing all the work. So for that reason, we're probably going to scale down a lot on sourcing those items. If we do source something, it's going to have to be a really big ticket item where we make a profit of at least $100 an item. That's like where we're focused at. And we're going to grow our things that don't demand all of our time, and that we can have assistants helping us to do it. So again, and then as we mentioned earlier, we are consulting on branding. We think it's a very important step for business owners who want to grow to get their branding down. And that's kind of where we're going 2021.
Yeah, I love it. And you're already on a track, because I see that you have your storage rooms, that is starting the process. And I think that's beautiful. And I'm going to end on this. The word that Marina used is scale. There's nothing wrong with scaling your business down. You can be overwhelmed to the point that you're going to work yourself like crazy, because you can have a workable business and not really be interested in hiring someone. I'm not there yet. I don't want to do anything yet because I'm moving. I don't want to make any moves, do anything because I'm moving to a whole nother state. So I'm going to work like I'm going to be LLC. I'm doing the whole thing, but I'm not doing that now. I'm in Delaware. I'm going to be moving to North Carolina. Why do that when I'm moving in like 4 months? So every 2021 is going to be really different for me as well. I have a whole plan. I'm writing everything down. I'm like you. I'm looking for people who can help me with my business, and branding, yes, is really important. So on that note, ladies, I just want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate you so much. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. And I know you didn't know I was going to give you the 1-2 punch, but
we appreciate it. We appreciate you. What you do in the community every single day. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for being our friend. We love you.
I love you.
And we wish you the best holidays and
Michelle, I love your smile so much. Keep doing it. Marina doesn't smile as much, so I'm so glad she showed me all the teeth too today. So that is seriously, that has lifted my heart. She's not mean or anything like that. She's like, she seems more serious. So she'll be on her task. And then one time I saw her, maybe when she was talking to Nikki, I was like, she smiled. Today. So I appreciate that. Believe me, that is really lifting my heart today. But ladies, I love you as well. Believe me, this friendship, I can't wait until it gets like better so that we can visit. My goal, I want to get out to LA. You're going to see me. You're definitely going to see me. Like, we went to Posh Fest. That was so fast. I want to build relationships, why not build a vacation around people that you have a connection with? And I would love that. We can go to Laguna Beach. I'm not really a beach person, but I'll hit the beach. But I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate you so much. Everyone, all my friends, thank you for coming. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Everyone, continue to do the thing you think you cannot do. Awesome. Bye, friends.